1,000 and below. Then there's this group, and only 27 states are using this.
Oh,
United Way said it seems like poverty is not the best thing to use anymore for when we're discerning people
Did you see
groups.
that lag?
And so they did more homework, and they started to unpack who's above
It's my
poverty,
spicy dot.
but who's not wealthy. And so they came up with this acronym called ALICE, which is Asset Limited, Income Constrained, Employed. It's the people that are working. And in Michigan in 2023, it's those who make between $30,000 and $59,000. Now, United Way is still using 2021 numbers of 59,000. We've adjusted it a little bit for 2023, and we use the numbers of if you make between $30,000 and $72,000 for a family of four. That's ALICE. And that means in the state of Michigan, it takes almost $36 an hour, 40 hours a week, for a family of four to survive. Now, how many jobs? 70% of jobs pay less than $20 an hour. So how are people surviving in the state of Michigan?
Credit
and
cards.
Because this is in 27 other states.
Literally credit
so there's
cards.
this new people group that we've all come aware of. Like, oh, Alice. Who's Alice? Poverty is 30,000 and below. Then there.
This is a brand new building. But it's only 20 feet wide, and they had trouble fitting an elevator in. Now, it's not that they couldn't fit an elevator in. They probably could have, but it would have made the layouts in the apartments even more cramped. And the way they are now, they're actually kind of nice.
That's a lot of stairs. And they were like,
Right up
nah,
there is
we're
the
not going to
rooftop
do
for
an
the building,
elevator.
but this unit
Oh, no.
does not need access. Technically, they have access, but I don't see them ever using it. So this is the living room. You've got a little balcony right there, but you share it with your neighbor. You've got nice tall windows, more windows,
I like
and a
barely
half
see my
bath.
mini-mat.
That's
my
actually
dad
kind of
made
nice and cool. Then you've got your kitchen and your upstairs. Good amount of storage. You've got some extra space under there. Are you just putting storage there, or are you going to get more creative? Then you've
Wow,
got
that is
the
big.
bedrooms and the rooftop. Now, each bedroom has access to the rooftop, and here's your bathroom. The lights are off. You got a nice deep tub. There's your toilet, and your sink is right over there. Tall ceiling and cool tiles on this wall. Now, your rooftop is a great space. I don't know about hosting because everyone's gonna have to walk through your bedroom to get there, but you've got great city skyline views. You've got a construction site right there, and you've got a really, really nice space.
Wow.
Now, this bedroom is the smaller
That'll
of the
be
two,
$1 million.
but it's got the closet, split unit heat and AC, and corner windows, so you get lots of sunlight. And this one also has corner windows, even more sunlight, bigger, but there's no closet. I guess you're putting a wardrobe right there.
Next.
Just wondering, if you're a vegetarian, are you a vegetarian because you just don't want to kill animals? Okay, that's fine. It may be if you live in a home with a basement, you have a humane mousetrap. So if you capture a mouse, you don't snap its neck, right? It's still alive. Take it and release it back into the wild, where it is guaranteed to be eaten by all manner of woodland predators, owls, hawks, foxes. The average life expectancy of a mouse in the wild is somewhere between 9 and 18 months. If you care about animal life that much, the best thing you could do for the mouse is leave it in your basement. It'll live up to 6 years there in the warmth of your home.
No, I
That's
don't want
why
that
you
mouse
live
in
in
my
your
basement.
I don't mind if you want to trap mice and not kill them in your mouse trap.
Darn it.
But to capture them and doom them to be swallowed whole by an owl, that ain't right. Just wondering if...
The audacity of American dentists. Let me tell you what's going on. So I'm taking my almost 14-year-old son to a dentist in Portugal today, which I took him to 2 years ago. Now, because of something that happened during the birth of my son, it causes his two front teeth to have this brown staining looking color, which, was starting to impact his self-esteem. So when he was about 6, I started asking dentists, like, hey, can we fix this? And I had no less than
Or
6
more.
American dentists tell me it would be
Grandma pattern.
thousands of dollars. They couldn't do it. 10 grand, 15 grand, crazy numbers they were throwing at me. And then I came to Portugal and I took my kid to a teeth cleaning, and I just happened to mention, you know, what the dentists were telling me in America, and they laughed. And they said, oh, yeah, you know, we always know just by looking in the mouth who has American dental work, because it's always, you know, the most expensive work with the shittiest supplies, and it's just really bad work. And then they went on to tell me that problem could be fixed for 20 euros. And it was fixed for 20 euros. They fixed it. They said, bring it back in 2 years. It's going to start to fade. We're 2 years out. It's starting to fade, and we're going to go fix the $10,000
what
American
gets me,
dental
man.
problem for 20 euros.
We have the resources for everyone to like be healthy and be able to chew their food comfortably, but we choose instead to limit those
Welcome
resources.
to a game
Put
called
a paywall.
Guess How Much It Is Now.
$1 million.
This video goes out to all the greedy, delusional house flippers and corporations in my area who are buying houses like this and doing too much. So this is a photo of a house in Beacon, New York, about 55 miles north of New York City, and it was taken in 2019. Here's a quick look at the other houses in the neighborhood. You see it's your typical small northeastern town. And a year later, the house was sold to someone or something for $260,000. And this is what it looks like now. And as you can see, whoever or whatever bought it gutted it completely and started over. Here's some pictures of the inside. You can see completely redone. It's giving midlife crisis, recently divorced. And
Pretty
here's
white,
the fun
pretty
part.
pale.
Shocker, it's on the market again after all of these renovations. And I want you to guess how much they put it on the market for. I'll give you 2 seconds. You're wrong. The answer is $1.25 million. Yep.
Wow.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That's what I said.
Not all right.
I know ripping on Americans is like part of my genetic code, but I'm actually really feeling it today. So yesterday I saw a TikTok of this girl who's American who was really upset that this Australian performer had made a comment saying she's coming to the States to perform. Please open guns to her show. She doesn't want to get shot.
Going so
and they were like,
fast.
"How tone deaf? How dare you joke about guns in America? Are you kidding me?
Blech.
Your Independence Day was what, a week and a half ago? Now like a dozen mass shootings. Every fucking day we turn on the news and somebody's been shot by some random citizen in America. Like, we aren't joking when we say, please don't bring guns. Like, for us, that's kind of implied. We don't walk around seeing people with handguns. We certainly don't walk around seeing people carrying assault rifles. So when people come from other countries and they're like, hey, Americans, please don't bring guns, like, those are valid concerns. And if it sounds at any point like we're making a mockery or there's a little sprinkle of sarcasm in our voices, it's only because we feel so bad for you. You actively keep electing officials that don't give a shit about you. And I know there's going to be people that like, well, I didn't vote for them. Well, obviously the majority did because they're there.
All we have to do is vote them out, guys. I love when people from other countries who obviously know a lot about how our political systems work, not in theory but in praxis, of course, give us little tips. Especially when those tips are tied to snideness pertaining to people being shot to death. They don't know what they look like from anywhere but America. First of all, we don't give a fuck. You are not in our minds 24/7 the same way we are on yours. We don't vote on policy in hopes that Canadians will look to us fondly. Second of all, we actually are aware of the problems that plague this great nation and are actively attempting to fix them. You'd be shocked to discover things are a bit more complex than just voting people out.
Like we're
if you don't know anything about American
gridlocked
politics
constantly.
or history, don't speak on them, unless you like looking foolish. When Americans call out other Americans for the way that they vote, we know who and what we're talking about, making our call-outs pointed, not just jabs at Americans who are suffering in circumstances they themselves can't control. See y'all at the polls.
Does anybody else think it's really kind of strange that, like, during the pandemic, all the essential workers had to keep going to work because we were considered essential to the functioning of society?
Only ones keeping
These are the people who, for society to function,
up.
have to keep going to work.
Yeah.
And yet, none of those people are
get paid
people
the
who make over
least.
$100,000 a year. Anybody else think that's really fucking weird?
Yeah.
That all the people who are absolutely necessary for the survival of the entire country, in order for anything to keep going, none of the people who are 100% absolutely necessary for the functioning of our day-to-day lives, none of them make 150 grand. All of the essential workers, all of the most important people for the functioning of our society, are all the lowest paid people in the fucking country. Somebody make that make fucking sense to me.
I wish I could.
Here's the physics experiment that may have just proved the existence of God. Not the old man on a throne God, but the infinitely intelligent consciousness that actively creates the universe in every moment. And not so ironically, this story starts with a ray of light. In 1801, a physicist named Thomas Young put a small plate with a couple of slits in it in his window to see what would happen to the light coming into the room. And what he found, to everyone's amazement, because all the other physicists at the time were sure that light was made of particles, he saw a wave interference pattern on the screen behind the slits. Like what would happen to a wave of water if it were to pass through those two slits. But this was light, and so this seemed to confirm that light was a wave. Fast forward over a century to a point where technology allowed to fire a single photon in an experimental setting, at which point they said, let's try that double slit thing again. What happened when they fired one photon at a time at the two slits that should have revealed a BB gun pattern of double slits behind the screen? They got the wave interference pattern again with one photon at a time. And to them, this is impossible. They're like, what the fuck? One particle shouldn't be able to create a wave interference pattern. How does the one particle interfere with itself? So what they came up with was that the photon traveled through both slits simultaneously in what's called superposition of all possibilities. But that was too weird, and they just couldn't let that go, so they're like, hey, let's figure this out. So they put some sensors in the loop to figure out at least which slit was being used by the photon. And this is where things got even weirder. Because when they measured which slit the photon was actually going through, that's when they got the two slit pattern on the back of the screen like a BB gun had fired through it. And here's where it got crazy. When they measured which photon the slit went through, they got the two slit BB gun pattern. But when they didn't measure which slit it went through, they got the wave interference pattern with one photon at a time. And all the smartest physicists in the world were like, and within those world-leading expert physicists, two camps of thought developed. A vast minority of super genius Nobel Prize-winning physicists said, aha, this is where consciousness comes into the picture in quantum mechanics. Because when this wave function of the single photon passing through all possibilities is observed, it collapses into one photon and makes the BB pattern. But the other, much more highly populous camp of physicists said, the wave function of the particle collapsed when we measured it, dumbasses. And the vast majority of physicists are still in this camp today. And here is where they get proven wrong. Enter the quantum eraser. The quantum eraser proves that a collapse of a wave function from a wave into a particle is not due to a measurement effect. Because in a quantum eraser setup, every photon that travels through the system gets measured. Every one of them. Every particle should show up as a BB gun pattern of two slits on the screen behind it. But they don't. And you can decide when they don't even long after the experiment is over. And all you have to do to change the result from the double slit back to the wave interference pattern is erase the data on the hard drive from the measurements that were taken. When you erase not the measurement, but the data from the measurement itself, it turns the particles back into waves backwards in time. Because ultimately, it's whether the researchers can view the data or not that decides whether or not the wave function collapses into a particle. So consciousness for the win. Consciousness is a non-local field, and we are all conscious creatures that are tied into that field. So what would you call an infinite field of intelligent consciousness with the ability to create the whole universe moment to moment, which by the way gives us our own consciousness as a local expression of the whole thing?
So this is day 2 of me here at the IRS conference, and let me tell you guys something. You see that PayPal? You see that TikTok? Do you see Cash App? Do you see Venmo? Do you see if you are not reporting that income? And when you think that you're sending money to a family member, any money received over $600, you have to now file it on your taxes as income and pay taxes on it.
Only
so
if it's
I will
over
be deleting my
$600
Cash
though?
Apps when I get back home and closing those accounts out. I will not be doing Cash App. I will not be doing Venmo. I will only stick with my PayPal because I run my business through PayPal with my credit card machines and stuff.
That's good to know. I don't ever use...
You guys are in a new awakening comes 2024 tax year. You guys are going to be crying if you don't have your bookkeeping in order. Okay? And I'm turning down clients.
Wow.
So this is day 2 of...
Heads up. Shit.
This is a real-life woolly mammoth tusk. I bought it from a guy up in Alaska for $7,500, and I'm going to do my best to try and restore it, despite the fact I don't know the first thing about restoring fossils. The guy that sold me this tusk told me that it should dry out for around a year before I start working on it, so that's what I'm doing here. I put it in my basement, I put a ton of hose clamps on it, and I just came back every few days and tightened them up, and I didn't really notice it at first, but those cracks started to shrink as I did this over the months, and after about 13 months, just a little over a year, you can see just how closed those cracks became. It was pretty cool to see. I got a lot of questions of people asking me how old is this tusk, and my original plan was to get it carbon dated so I'd know exactly how old it was, but when I reached out to the places that do carbon dating, they wouldn't do it for me because I'm not affiliated with a university. So I can at least tell you this much. Mammoths went extinct around 4,000 years ago, which is crazy because that is after the Great Pyramids were built. However, that was just on one tiny island off the coast of Siberia. Almost all the rest of the mammoths went extinct around 10,000 years ago or so, so my best guess is this is 10 to 20,000 years old, but it could be 40 or 50,000 years old as well. And I did have one very educated YouTube viewer that pointed out that the Earth is only 7,500 years old, so there's no way this tusk could be 20,000 years old. So take that for what it's worth.
Super duper karma. I'm gonna go to the potty.
That suspicious white powder that I was mixing with epoxy into a brown paste is probably not what you think. This is what is called bone ash, and that is exactly what it sounds like. It is burnt bones, and I got down some rabbit hole online looking up how to restore these tusks, and I found somebody that said mixing bone ash with epoxy was a good way to make this faux ivory, so that's what I did. Mixed up a bunch of that bone ash. The tiny pits I just filled with a clear resin, and now I have a lot more sanding to do, which I gotta tell you, this sanding was pretty unbearable, and it also smelled just like the dental office of your nightmares, that grinding enamel smell. It was pretty horrifying. I looked up hundreds, if not thousands, of different stands that people make to present these mammoth tusks. I even went deep and looked up vintage elephant tusk ivory presentations, which is probably going to make some of you clutch your pearls, but it's still a tusk, and I want to know the best way to present this. And finally, I decided I needed to do something completely original, and that's why I'm drilling a hole right down the middle of this. And don't judge me too much for this spade bit on an impact driver, because it actually worked. Once I got that 1.25-inch hole started, I finished it off with the auger bit or that spade bit, and now I took it to my buddy Joe over at Otter's Custom Fab, and he's going to make the stand that will make this tusk look like it's just floating there.
Yes, Mega is finally down for number one. Oh shit.
When I first started this project, I had a bold idea that this was going to be my first welding project. I was going to teach myself to weld on what I thought was a pretty simple stand idea, and...
Okay, this is boring. I'm sorry.
Hey, look, shut the fuck up!
Oh.
Gee, fucking what? Fuck it, it don't matter. It's this lady that worked at my job, right? It's an old white lady. You know how sometimes you just gotta kick it who you can kick it with at work type shit? That's what I've been doing. I just been kicking it with a type shit. Like, we just be sitting at the booth talking and shit. Alright, cool. Today, testing my patience.
That is really funny.
Now, I come back to sit down from the bathroom, but she had, today she get that, I want to give you my number, but I'm going to get a new phone first. So I'm like, okay, shit, I'm not really even thinking too much. I'm okay, I don't know what that mean, but shit, alright, cool. Fuck, I'm not really thinking too hard about it. To keep conversation going, I say, what kind of phone you gonna get? She say, oh, I don't know, probably one of the little throwaway phones, just a little flip phone, or, you know, something that I can just, a throwaway phone. Hey, me still
a throwaway
cool.
phone.
I'm like, shit, yeah, it's good to have an iPhone and a throwaway phone, you know, like a second phone. You just don't want to get nobody your number. This is me having a conversation with my motherfucking coworker, gang. She get that, you have a second phone?
Alexa
I'm telling her, like, no, I don't. Like, I don't.
Bro,
This motherfucker
I was like, that greedy.
goes to say, I'm gonna get you one when I get me one.
What?
Who the fuck am I to tell this lady that I don't need a second phone? So I say, okay, cool, let's do it, shit. Now, this what she started throwing me off at. Hit me out. I need y'all to let me know if I'm tweaking. She say, I'll get you one so that neither of our messages are in our regular phone. Now, I don't understand why the fuck our messages can't be in our regular phone. But what the fuck do I say, gang? Okay. Sometimes you gotta let a motherfucker talk. She said, yeah, because I have a husband. But imagine this lady probably like 40, 50 type shit. Oh, I swear to God, like 40, 50. She said, yeah, he doesn't know what I'm really into. What the fuck are you into? It get worse and worse, gang. Like so much unwanted info about her and her marriage. Shit get to taking a turn, gang. She said, you ever slept with an older woman before?
Oh,
hey, no more sugarcoating. I told her ass no, and I would never. Oh, my little sister. Never in my life. She said, I bet you'll do it for some money. I ain't gonna lie. At this point, I'm low-key getting irritated because what you saying? Like, I do it for some money. Like, I'm just one of them or something. I flat out tell her, no the fuck I wouldn't. She said, so you wouldn't do it for $5,000 a week?
Oh.
I ain't say that. But I'm saying. On a serious note, though, at this point, I'm confused on what she's trying to get at because, like, what is we talking about? Like, on some real, like, what are we talking about, gang? If I'm not mistaken, I'm finna start fucking this white lady for $5,000 a week.
You guys, this looks like a fun one. It says, find the area of the red region. So we want the area of the region contained by these 3 circles. And these circles have a radius of 1, 2, and 3 meters. So for the first step, let's connect this center to this center, and then this center to this center, and then this center to this center. This forms a triangle, and let's look at the triangle down here. So this is a radius of this circle, which is 1, and this is a radius of this circle, which is 3, which makes this entire top side 1 plus 3, which is 4. And same here, this is a radius of 3, and this is a radius of 2, which make this whole bottom a length of 5. And then this radius is 2, and this radius is 1, which makes this side a length of 3. So this is a 3, 4, 5 triangle. That is a Pythagorean triple. That means this has to be a right triangle. And here's the Pythagorean theorem that verifies it. All 3, 4, 5 triangles are right triangles. Let's find the area of this whole triangle. The area of a triangle is 1/2 base times height. So if we rotate this thing, we can see that the base is 4 and the height is 3. 4 times 3 is 12, and 1/2 of 12 is 6. So the area of this triangle is equal to 6. So now that we have that, let's look at these individual pieces of the triangle. We have this yellow sector right here, this orange sector, and the green sector. Let's start by finding this orange piece. If this central angle is equal to d, the area of this sector is going to be equal to d over 360 times pi r squared. And we know this is a right angle, so that means we can plug in 90 for the d. And the radius of this circle is equal to 1, so we can plug in 1 for r. 1 squared is equal to 1, and multiplying by 1, we don't need this 1 anymore. 90 over 360 is equal to 1/4, so we end up with 1/4 pi, or pi over 4. Next, we have the area of this yellow sector. Let's make this angle d degrees so we can use this formula right here. The radius of this circle is equal to 3, and 3 squared is equal to 9.
I'm not in math anymore. I don't want to. When he's your brother, but he's also 25 years older than you?
This is crazy, because my father kind of made this my reality. So, this is Forrest, right? You see him. This is my little brother, baby brother, whatever you want to call it. My father believes he's still youthful. He believes that he can still continue to procreate, which he clearly can because he hasn't stopped. So he's like 6 years old right now, right? You would think he would stop there, but no, he didn't. You got King. This is King. You can see him. He has as much personality as it shows in the picture. Got his little feet crossed, everything just like that. He's 4. He just graduated, what is that, preschool? Went to his graduation. He's clearly swagged out right here. Full of personality, that boy. Yeah, he's 4. Mind you, I'm 24. There's a 20-year age difference. Ridiculous. But we're not done. This is Quest. You see him? He's only 2 years old. Full of energy. Great guy. Really great guy. That's my guy. We have a handshake. He loves me very much. My father doesn't believe in hugs, so he gives me hugs every time he sees me. I know. Trauma already ready to be created in the making. But it's alright. That's Quest. And no, my father is not done. This is Ocean.
Another one.
She is, I don't even know. I lost track. I don't even know when she was born. A
Ocean.
couple months, maybe 6, possibly 7.
That's an
Who
interesting
knows?
name.
I see her from time to time. But yeah, like I said, I'm 24 years old. She's not even a year. Couple months. Barely has a personality. Doesn't even have one. She's not even a person yet. She just started seeing shapes and stuff not too long ago. She's too new.
The lag.
Something's wrong with that man. But yeah, that video's gonna be my reality. Sick.
No.
Forrest the other day,
Okay, I need to
the
make
one,
sure
the
that
first one, he actually
this is
told
on
me
low
I was
quality.
born in the late 1900s. It's sick. I was born in 1999. But that's the late 1900s.
Here's how to pick the perfect watermelon every single time. And trust me, because my wife eats a watermelon every single day, and I picked over 50 this summer, and everyone has been perfect. You gotta find a big yellow spot like this one. It's all dark green, has a little spot here. This one's gonna be trashed. All right, now we're talking. Look at this yellow spot. That looks good. That's some nice yellow. That's some nice yellow. All right, these are our final 2 nice big yellow spots. I'm gonna buy them both because honestly my wife will eat both of them. Then I'll buy this one too that's all green that essentially has no yellow spot. People knock on their watermelons all the time to check if they're hollow, but honestly it doesn't really matter because every watermelon sounds hollow. I've knocked on hundreds of watermelons this summer and they all sound hollow, so like it doesn't matter. All right, here are the 2 watermelons, big yellow spot. All green, no yellow spot. We're gonna cut the big yellow spot open first. Let's do it, wifey. Let's see those cutting skills. Be careful, okay?
I'm a professional at this, okay?
Very careful.
Can you do that one where the lady like
All right.
diagonal slices?
Wow, that looks perfect, doesn't it?
Yeah.
All right,
That
here.
looks pretty
Let's go, baby.
An interesting way to cut a watermelon.
What do you think? Good? Perfect?
Amazing.
Not that, straight in half.
Wow. That honestly might be the best watermelon this summer. It's so.
Hi, how you guys doing today? Well, my family's hungry and we'd like to get this order going. Yeah, no problem. What can I get for you? My $2 in the back will each have a grilled cheese, and then my wife wants a turkey sandwich, no tomato, no onion. Okay, what else for you? I wasn't done. Okay.
That's why I said what else?
And for me, I want the Greek salad with no feta. Okay. I'm done ordering now. Okay. Did you guys want any drinks or anything like that? If I wanted one, I would have told you that. So what's my total? I'm not sure because I am writing this on a notepad, so let me run in and go ahead and ring it up, and I'll come out with the total. We'll be waiting. Again. All right, so I'm back, and your total is $30 even. Well, here's a 50 for you, and don't lose it, and I want the correct amount of change. Of course. I will be right back with your change and your receipt. All right, here is your $20 in change and your receipt, and your food will be out in a minute. Hello? Yes, sir, was there something else you needed? You only gave me a 20. Yes, that is correct. Where's the rest of my change? That is the rest of your change. You gave me a $50 bill, your total was $30, so you get $20 in change. I didn't give you a $50 bill, I gave you a $100 bill. So 100 minus 30 is 70. I should have $70 in change, not 20. No, you handed me a 50, not a $100 bill. You better figure this out quick because I'm not leaving until I have the correct amount of change. You know what? Let me just go grab my manager really quick. I go get my manager, explain what happened, and he goes and talks to this man. Hi, sir, what seems to be the issue? Your employee over there won't give me my correct amount of change. She said that you gave her a 50 and your total was $30 and so your change was 20. I gave her a $100 bill. Why can't you guys comprehend that? Well, if you give me a few minutes, I'm gonna go check the cameras and then I'll see what happened. Great, more time we have to wait. My manager went and checked the cameras and saw, in fact, that he did give me a $50 bill. And so we went and told the man what happened. All right, sir, well, I did check and you did give her a $50 bill, not a $100 bill. So you have the correct amount of change. You know what? I don't want the food anymore. Go ahead and keep it. I just want my refund. Okay, no worries. Give me just a second. All right, here is $30 back and you have a great day. Oh, no, I will be sitting in this parking lot until I get my change back and I will be calling the police. Okay, that's fine. Well, let me know when they're here, and then I'll go ahead and show them the camera footage, and they will see that you gave my employee a $50 bill and not a $100 bill, and then you can be on your way. No, they will see that I gave her a $100 bill, and you will have to give my change back, and you'll owe me free food. Okay. The minute my manager walked back in the door, they got out of the parking lot and left. But their food was ready at that point, so we got to eat their food.
Still eat the food though after causing like a kerfuffle.
I got tagged in this one so many times and for good reason because it's good. Wait, listen. I don't even know how to say this, but I experienced a glitch in the Matrix funeral edition. And honestly, this is probably one of the craziest, most unexplainable events in my entire life. I am losing sleep over it. So I'm asking somebody to please take notes and help me understand this, because like, I literally just can't. So 2 months ago, I make funeral arrangements with the family. They have a cremation and they order 50 prayer cards. 50 prayer cards. Now, the cards they picked out were so unique, so rare, so beautiful. I'd never even seen them before. Don't carry them. I had to order them custom made from a third-party vendor, in which I did. They mailed them to me. Now, I held on to those prayer cards and the cremated remains for about 2 months, until last week, on Friday, when the family called because they wanted to pick them up. So they come in, they pick them up. I'm like, oh, when are you having your service? They said they're going to do something on Sunday, which is in 2 days. I was like, oh, that's really nice. Where are you having it? They're like, we haven't decided it yet. You know, Aunt Ida was really old and she kind of outlived all of her friends, so we'll figure it out. I'm like, great. You know, I hope it's beautiful and so on and so forth. I didn't go, wasn't invited, didn't keep in touch, whatever. Now, Monday rolls around, okay? So that was Friday, now we're on Monday. And I get a message from a restaurant who had called and they were asking why we mailed them prayer cards. I didn't mail any restaurant prayer cards. Like, what is this about? I call them back. I'm like, why do you think I mailed you prayer cards? She was like, because your ad is on them. You know, we put the funeral home ad on the prayer cards. I was like, no, I didn't mail you anything. What is the return address on the envelope? She said there was none.
Your ad.
Like, well, that's weird. I don't know. So what is the name of the deceased?
Your
you know?
logo is fine.
She says Aunt Ida. I was like, well, that's weird. I was like, I gave the
mad.
family those cards on Friday. I'm like, I don't know. Maybe they mailed them to you. Like, maybe I thought maybe they didn't have their service on Sunday. I don't really know. I just know I didn't do it. So I was like, they'll figure it out. Later that day, I get a phone call from the daughter of Aunt Ida. She's like, Melissa, why did you mail the restaurant prayer cards? I was like, I didn't. It's like, I talked to the restaurant. I explained her the same thing I explained to you. She was like, how did you know we went to that restaurant? I was like,
I don't know.
I didn't know you went there. I didn't know anything. She said, yeah, we went there yesterday. It was Sunday. And I said, did you have the prayer cards that I gave you? She said, yeah, 50 of them.
I have not gotten.
She said she handed some out. She even had a few extra. I was like, okay, that's weird. I said, you know, when you go to the restaurant and pick up those prayer cards that were mailed to you, can you give me a call? Because I'm thinking the prayer cards have to be different. Maybe like a friend or something found out that was the restaurant, ordered them, they came late. I don't know, but there has to be a reasonable explanation. Well, she goes and she gets them and she calls me. And the prayer cards, the custom prayer cards that I had ordered from a third-party company, they were exactly the same, identical. Add on it and everything.
Yeah, that just sounds like a mistake.
That doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. I'm like, return address? She said no. But the post, you know, like when it goes to the post office, was a zip code that wasn't near either of us. So I was like, or the company I ordered it from, like totally different county. I was like, this is really weird. So we were just like, wow, unexplainable. But I don't let things go. So I called the company because now I'm thinking maybe there is a chance that, like, I don't know, somebody in the office ordered it and like somehow magically knew the restaurant and mailed them. Like, that would be crazy, but there's got to be some kind of reasonable explanation that there is more than 50 identical prayer cards, right? Well, here's what happens.
Right, so yeah, you got 50 the last time.
And there was never a reorder put in?
No, there was not.
Phone calls.
Okay.
You know, so mean.
Can I just tell you something really quick?
So if you follow me, you understand that only 50...
I don't know. I don't believe that. Why women don't need a tape measure. I mean, what if it's longer than your arm? I would still carry around a tape measure. You don't have to carry around like the tape. I've got like a little, it's like for sewing, so it's like bendy, easy to transport. I don't know. Whatever.
Okay, great news is, okay, so last week, guys, I made a dress. It's really proud, diamond panel, slip in the back, a girlfriend helped me sew it. They sent me a dress I didn't have to make myself. I can't believe it. I'm just saying. Okay, now I'm so proud.
I totally noticed that her accent is. Where's her accent?
This is a perfect place for me to clear up some crazy rumors I keep hearing about myself. Like that I can't perform without lip syncing. Okay, which is not true. See, when I appeared on the Grammy Awards and sang...
Hi guys, what's up? I'm on the Ellen show today and I'm getting a little cuckoo. That's why I'm standing on this table. I have no idea why.
I didn't even notice that she was on the table.
Okay, great news is, Okay, so last week, guys, I made a dress. It's really proud, diamond panel, slip in the back. A girlfriend helped me sew it. They sent me a dress I didn't have to make myself. Pink. I can't believe it. I'm just saying. Okay, now I'm so proud.
Yup.
We're gonna talk about this Carly Russell story. Yes, I got opinions.
That's not
yes,
Britney.
I'm gonna be the asshole this morning. No, you ain't gonna like a fucking thing I'm
It's
saying.
just like the damn. I just wasn't paying attention. Just like the what's his name? Tom Cruise, the deep fake. That's what it is.
No, I don't give a fuck about your feelings. Now that we cleared
Just
all
go
that up,
zoom
don't
in
want
on
your
her
feelings hurt,
hands.
scroll on now, that's your trigger warning. Because
They
homie knows
blend
he
in
ain't
with,
the only one
like,
that smells
the
absolute
background.
fish
They're super
ass
blurry.
on this
It's,
story.
like,
It's
so
got more
obvious.
holes than a slice of Swiss cheese, and I ain't buying a fucking word of it at this point. Story's so damn fishy, it got salmonella. Like, I'm talking supercalifragilistic stink-ass coochie. Story make as much sense
I don't know
as
who Carly
bobbing for
Russell
apples on the fucking ocean floor next to the Titanic inside the Titan submersible. If you believe a word of it, you just be a damn fool at this point. You know they found this woman alive this morning after 50-some hours.
Oh,
and
that
while that is
woman.
absolutely fucking great, fantastic,
That was
no
from
better news could have
Alabama.
been had from this story. The problem I'm having is all these creators in the news hollering, oh, it don't matter what happened. The fact that she's here, that's all that matters. Oh, that's the most important factor. Yes, I agree with that. Not all that motherfucking matters. Nah, the truth fucking matters here. Because the precedent that you set, if it was a hoax, or it was staged, or it was a mental health breakdown, cry for help, whatever the ifs may be, if you normalize this and glorify this,
I gotta do something.
this without knowing the actual truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth of this story, and no action is taken if any of those things turn out to be true, how many times you think this will happen? This attention-seeking behavior, if that turns out to be what it was. Across the...
We're surrounded by water on our small Caribbean island.
How we
but
can
we live
conserve
off
water
grid,
on our small
and it's not going to
Caribbean
rain for the
island.
next 8 months, so how do we survive? This is a huge cistern, 24,000 gallons of water that we can harvest during the rainy season. My sister's house has another 10,000 gallons. So combined, we have almost 35,000 gallons of water. The problem is, if we use that water at the same rate as the average person in the United States, we'll run out of water in 2.5 months. To survive, we have to ration our water very, very carefully, and here's how we do it. We harvest all the water we can. This is the condensate line from one of our air conditioners. As you can see, we capture that
Got
water, we
him.
use it to water
got
plants
me.
and things like that. And in emergencies,
Got.
we can even use that for drinking water. We even capture the water from our sewage. So this is our digester. It changes black water into gray water, and that gray water is
go
then
slow.
sent over here to 2 holding ponds. And from that holding ponds, we can pull water to take care of the landscaping and our fruit trees and things like that. We even use the juice left over from cans and old coffee, and we use that on our banana trees because they like the nutrients. Even recycle the water from our washing machine. They do that a lot here. You capture the water from your washing machine and use that to flush your toilets or for cleaning. Also constantly looking for ways to reuse water. This is going to be an outdoor shower, and this is going to be where our scuba dunk tanks are. So all of that will go through a drain system right out there and over to our pineapples. This is our dishwasher. And when I originally designed the house, it had no dishwasher because I thought we'd wash everything by hand to save water. But it turns out that washing by hand actually takes more water than using a dishwasher. And then we
Way.
upgraded the dishwasher to a low water usage model. So instead of using about 12 gallons per load,
It should
we
use
only
4.
6. Also tried to convince Dr. Elizabeth that
Well, that's
this is
dumb
a
because
water
a
conservation
household
measure as well.
dishwasher uses about 4
That's what
gallons.
happens
So
from it. A lot of water here in the shower. You can use up to 2.5 gallons per minute typically, but we use this low flow shower head. I think the name of the company that makes it is High Sierra. We love it. It feels just like
sucks.
a regular shower.
I would
but it
rather
only
use a
uses
high
about
pressure
1.4
shower.
gallons per minute. It
Low
also
pressure
has this
showers
really nice
suck.
function where you can flip that easily
Landlord
and
special
turn off.
over here.
I left
a prescription at a pharmacy once. I went to get birth control. The price was very, very high. I said, wow, is this a 3-6 month prescription? No, ma'am, this is 1 month. And I said, it's cheaper to have a kid. And I left it there. And now I have my third son, Caden Bobert. And so I'm actually, it turned out to be a really great thing.
Great for you. Not the son who had to call the cops on your husband. Listen, that's really nice that you like your child, I guess. Birth control pills can cost between $20 and $50 for each pack. So let's say it's $50.
Definitely not cheaper than a kid.
After 18
My God,
years.
could you imagine going through this
USDA
life with a
estimates that
child?
parents can expect to pay between $15,000 and $17,000 a year raising a child. So that's about $300,000 to raise a kid
Hell
to
no.
the age of 18.
Pickle,
and that's
ickle,
not even
fickle.
including, if you're Lauren Boebert, how many guns you have to buy for each of them.
I
Now,
gotta take a
Lauren
picture.
is getting divorced. If she has to pay child support, she's going to
Really
find out
disgusting.
exactly how expensive kids are. Their divorce comes 2
This is you.
decades after the couple first met while Lauren was working at Mickey D's at the age of 16 and her soon-to-be ex-husband was 22. Sounds like someone was ordering a Happy Meal.
Drippy
I can't spend too
diaper.
much time talking about this because I want to try out the new water slide I had installed at my new house that I bought with all of the disposable income I have from taking birth control and never having kids. Bye, Lauren. I heard you have a new boyfriend, so maybe try condoms or anal.
I left a prescription at a pharmacy once.
Love
I went to
anal.
get
Holy shrimp! Squidward, this guy had a baby.
That's not a baby. That's a giant anchor.
Hey, SpongeBob, this guy had a baby.
Now look what you've done.
We didn't do it, Squidward. Our hands are clean.
Clean.
I'm gonna get to the bottom of this thing.
Wouldn't that be the top?
All right. Who owns this crate? Come on out. I want to file a complaint.
Doesn't this place seem familiar? Doesn't it just kind of ring a bell?
Yes.
No, it's not.
What color is your Bugatti? Oh my God, get out of here.
It's Squidward. He wants to complain to you.
No, I don't.
Well, what about all that stuff about him having a dirty ship and being lazy and all?
Insulting a man's ship be worse than insulting his mother.
No, wait. It was his mother you said was dirty, not his ship.
So, are you gonna try that again?
Probably.
How about now? No, they're not.
Phew.
That was weird.
I'm trying not to look down, dude, but it's so fucking hard not to.
I understand. That is one hell of a view.
Holy fuck, dude. I'm trying to keep my gangster right now.
Yeah, just
I'm
like
I've never had
peeping.
much gangster.
Sorry. Okay.
Sorry.
Eyes up.
Look at that view.
I know, I'm trying to soak it in.
All right,
but
we're gonna take a few steps forward.
I'm gonna soak myself in pee, alrighty?
I'm gonna soak myself in pee.
You got it, yep.
He's like, come on, a
Almost
little
there.
more.
Couple more baby
Holy
steps.
fuck, dude.
Couple more baby steps.
No fucking way would I be able to
Fine.
jump off.
Oh, a little bit
Take
further.
another little baby step. Yeah, right there.
Okay.
Cool.
Holy fuck.
Is she
man.
holding the...
There you go.
Okay, yeah.
I don't like
Taking
you right now.
You don't like
Insulting the
me.
guy
You're
before
trying
the
to
jump.
suck it. I'm only in this situation because of you.
Okay, I don't even know what the fuck to say to you, dog.
What's going through your head?
I'm only here because of
I'm
you.
trying to enjoy it, but like, my hands are numb.
Your hands are numb?
Yeah.
All right, well.
I can see our cars. No one's
There
breaking
are
into
cars,
them.
no one's breaking in. Good security check.
Awesome.
You ready to have some fun?
Hell yeah, I am.
You want a base jump?
Fuck yeah, I do.
All right, that means I'm going to count us down.
Okay.
5, 4,
I have to
3,
watch.
2, 1.
Oh my god!
Oh my God! It looked like it caught onto the cliff.
Whoa, dude!
What'd you think?
This is insane!
Not much like it, huh?
I'm not like a motherfucker
Sign
now.
of a good time.
Oh my god,
Done,
this is
girl.
crazy,
Not
dude!
much like it.
That free fall is fucking insane!
Bet.
All right, get ready to get those feet up
Yep.
real high.
Legs are up. Ooh!
Nice work, girl.
Hell yeah, man!
Shoot.
That's so sick!
That was such a quick ride, too.
Oh my god!
Panic and everything under 2 minutes.
Oh my god!
Excuse me, are you...
I don't know if I'd ever be able to jump
Yeah,
off a
yeah.
cliff.
Okay, well, we're judging you, all right?
What?
So don't come back here weak, okay? All right?
I just joined here. What do you want me to do?
Excuse me, are you using that 10 pounds?
Oh, yeah, I am.
That's it?
What? Why would you say that?
I'm just saying, that's weak.
Why
man.
would you say that? That's...
Hey, excuse me, can you spot for me?
Yeah, sure. I mean, if something happens, though, I'm not going to be able to help.
There's no issue, yeah. All right, thank you.
I don't know if you're supposed to use it like that. Can we do that? Excuse me, how many sets do you have left?
Oh, I have 80.
What?
Yeah, I have 80.
That doesn't seem right, bro.
Excuse me, you lifting that wrong.
Oh, really? Oh, how are you supposed to do it?
No,
I'm
it's
not
fine.
telling.
What?
You're gonna have to figure that out.
Why? You
No,
can literally
yeah,
just
yeah,
tell me.
you-
It's not
you
going to
don't
hurt you.
People aren't really like that at the gym, are they?
Yeah, what was it?
I don't know. Obviously, I don't go.
Oh my god! Who took this? Why would you post this? Who did it? Who works here?
So the neuroscience behind drinking is actually incredibly fascinating to me. So I love when you guys ask me questions about it because I'm like, oh my gosh, I get to nerd out. So before I get into the specifics of decision making and judgment, I want to make it clear that alcohol is a neurotoxin, okay? So even if you like drinking, even if you think it's really fun, it is important to you know that it is toxic to every part of your brain. And so because of that, it's going to compromise the whole thing. Memory, motor function, inhibition, personality, and emotional volatility. Virtually nothing is untouched by alcohol, and it assaults our brain on every level. Again, this problem is not isolated to heavy drinking. One drink, moderate drinking, and heavy drinking all negatively impact our most precious organ, our brain. So that comes from Quit Like a Woman by Holly Whitaker. Okay, so I'm going to use Holly Whitaker's book to explain this because she explains it really perfectly. So humans have what's called the triune brain, or a three-part brain. The midbrain, or the reptilian part, I like to call that the lizard brain. This is the oldest part of our brain where our survival instinct lives. And then we have the limbic, or mammalian brain. That's where our emotions live. That's part of our brain we share with other mammals. And then finally, we have the neocortex, which is our thinking brain, which is the part that you are referencing here.
Yep.
Adult humans with a fully developed neocortex are typically thinking from the top down to the bottom. So we're going to go from top to the middle to last. So basically we're going to think through things before we react on like our emotions, and then even worse before we react out of survival.
That's why you act
And so the neocortex, specifically the prefrontal cortex, is where our judgment, personality, willpower, inhibition, social skills, morality, decision-making, planning, and loads of other functions live. If the brain is a car, the survival response, midbrain, is the gas, and the prefrontal cortex is the brake. And that's a really great way of explaining it. This book is chef's kiss. I could read it 100 times. So when our brain starts drinking alcohol regularly, the top-down control gets flipped, and the survival animal instinct, lizard brain, overrides the rational thinking brain. This is due to two different causes. First, the prefrontal cortex loses its strength and volume. It's like a muscle. And the chemical component of alcohol, it's a neurotoxin, remember, so it attacks gray matter, or the regions of the brain involved in sensory perception, memory, emotion, speech, decision-making, and self-control. It attacks those parts along with the consistent deferral to their survival instincts. It weakens its function. So when we drink, our neocortex, our prefrontal cortex, is not being relied on. Our lizard brain is. So this starts making our brain want to rely on those instincts even when we're not drinking. So that part of our brain that's responsible for inhibiting our actions, the willpower, making decisions, moderating social behavior, constructing our personality, upholding our ethics, planning our future, it goes offline. And at the same time, the midbrain, which only thinks at about the next 15 seconds, becomes more powerful. So it's this constant battle of trying to make logical decisions, but your brain is starting to get used to your lizard brain, and that's what it wants to rely on. It doesn't want to rely on your judgment or your decision making over time.
For the first and only time, it's July 14th, 2023, and you're on the good side of the internet. The whitest paint ever made, certified by the Guinness Book of World Records, reflects 98% of sunlight and is now being used to cool down areas by 8 degrees Fahrenheit during the day and 19 at night, incredibly reducing air conditioning needs by up to 40% just through this paint. And deforestation in Colombia decreased by 29.1% last year, the lowest level since 2013, by working with local communities to safeguard forests, and the current government says that their priority prioritizing protecting Colombia's environment. And France announced that starting in October, they'll pay a rebate of 6 to 25
like the
euros
Kmart
for the cost
version
of
of something
repairing clothes
familiar.
and shoes to reduce waste in an effort to end fast fashion. And after a long battle of more than 2,300 amendments, the EU just approved a bill that will require all of its countries to restore 20% of nature within their borders on land and at sea. And yesterday's best story of the day is California's LAX airport banning the sale of single-use plastic water bottles. Comment to vote for your favorite story from today and send this to someone you love.
I love your lavender blue colour scheme. Goes with the blueberries as well. Clearly a man with an eye for
Ooh,
detail.
that one's
With a very
pretty.
confident stride. Very confident stride. Loved it. I adored the way you laughed at that pigeon. Compliments are simple, but not easy. Trust me. You have a marvellous weight distribution between your feet, sir. Good easy shift. Especially for us Brits. Present company included. I can give them, and do, but I can't take.
Oh, man, you're so good.
Oh, stop it.
Oh, be.
Oh, come on.
Oh, go on then.
Doesn't mean I don't love it.
You look great.
A Yorkshire compliment, that's cast in gold. Sincerely appreciating something someone has made an effort on will make their day. So you're in aquamarine blue jeans, field of dreams. Yes, you are. You're doing a wonderful job in a tricky set of circumstances. You're welcome. You look like a painting, and you're just sitting there. It's fantastic. The more unique, the more bespoke, the more devastatingly effective. Your vibe is genius artist turned creative corporate legend. Safe and stylish. You look pensive, but also capable enough to deal with anything that's worrying you. You have ski resort earning energy. Sweet vibe, sir. Human Ibethan sunset. Get it right. It's
Okay.
like a natural high for the pair of you. Adore your head, sir. Love it. Wisdom. Should be cast in marble.
Should be cast in marble.
We both feel like we've had a coffee.
Believe our vacation is over.
I know. Now we have to go back home to Hawaii.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you could just stay seated with your seatbelts fastened.
It's gonna be a bumpy ride for a little bit, okay?
Okay. Thank you.
We better buckle up.
It's like they're on those airplanes that influencers go on to take pictures, and that's it.
The pilot has just informed me that we are headed for some severe turbulence. Okay? He said it's going to be really bad.
He
So
said
just stay seated with your belts buckled because he said
so
this is going to
calm.
be terrible.
Wait.
Really weird cadence for that.
Sounds so good.
Folks, I did want to let you know that your oxygen masks will be released from above you, okay? Please do not panic. The pilot is scared.
The pilot is scared. Oh, you motherfucker.
Hey, everyone, please, I did just speak with the pilot, and he said he is going to do his very best to stay in control of the plane. Okay? But if he doesn't, you cannot act crazy.
Right.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have decided to land in the ocean.
What? This is not in the ocean.
This is not all right.
Okay, folks, please calm down. We have decided not to land in the ocean, okay? We have spoken with our control tower, and apparently the force of these winds are just going to end up ripping the plane into different parts, okay, before we land, okay? So just make sure all of your items are neatly stowed beneath you, just in case the plane does rip in half. You will have your items with you on your half.
On your half.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're not gonna like this, but I just checked and we are all out of TerraBlue chips. So.
No.
That's not.
Ladies and gentlemen, I know, there are no chips, I know. Listen, you really need to calm down, okay, because the pilot is in the cockpit and he is crying. And freaking
Oh my god, how long is this skit?
screaming and shaking, okay? He just got sick on some of his buttons, okay?
Okay.
You showed us Samsung products, not their ecosystem. Well, let me show you how all these Samsung products work together. So in front of me is pretty much Samsung's entire ecosystem. From watch to earbuds to phone to laptop to tablet.
This guy
and every one of them
Samsung's.
connects to each other. So say I copy something from my phone, I of course then just paste that to my tablet or my PC. Or say I want to continue from my internet browser on my phone to my tablet, just go to my multi-window section and then I can continue it just by clicking that button right there. And those are just the basic things, because there's a lot of other features that are actually pretty powerful. So with the Tab S8 Ultra, you have an S Pen. And of course, you can use the S Pen not only on your phone, your tablet, but also your PC if you want. But say you're taking notes on your actual tablet like this, what's cool is that you can actually hit this button right here, and then it gives you all your tools on your phone and be able to just draw on your tablet still. So say I just want to change this as a pencil, it automatically changes it on my tablet. And now say I want to continue this onto my phone in terms of notes, I could just go to the multi-window on my phone and then just click open, and now I have it on my phone as well. Now when we bring it over to the earbuds, they automatically switch between your phone, your tablet, and your laptop, depending on whatever you're doing. If you may be getting a call on your phone or a video call on your tablet, it switches. And on Samsung laptops, they have a thing called multi-control. That means you can connect your tablet and your phone to your PC and bring your cursor from your laptop over to your tablet, or bring it back to your laptop and go to your phone seamlessly. And say you want to...
My wife was so happy with our lime-washed brick house, she told me to keep going. But did I go too far?
How do people paint
it all
their
started with
trees?
our
That is the
beautiful
weirdest
house
thing
clad
I've
in
ever
hideous
seen.
red brick. During a rare cosmic alignment of opinion, my babes and I agreed the red brick would look better in white. So I made the preparations and lime-washed the house with the occasional helping hand from my babes. But a lime-washed house would be nothing more than lipstick on a pig if we didn't do something about the sad and neglected landscaping. The magnificent shrimp, my boy home on summer break, and I planted a tropical paradise. Greens, reds, yellows, and pinks perfectly contrasted against the lime-washed brick house. To make sure our botanical investment stays properly hydrated, our neighbor and irrigation wizard Jerry reconfigured the watering system for full coverage. Next, I got 7 tons of river rock delivered and dumped onto the driveway, because I can't think of a better way to spend my days during a heat wave that's hotter than a jalapeno in hell than shoveling and hauling gravel. But wow, this river rock is perfect, so my screaming back and shut the hell up. Our original gutter system was designed and installed by 2 donkeys on acid, so we tore down that leaking shit show and had a full 6-inch gutter system installed by professionals, including rain chains flanking the stone columns by the front door. How cool is that? Now here's a question to ponder. If you make a mistake and your wife is not there to see it, did you really make a mistake? I made a mistake that shattered our new pendant light for the portico right in front of the shrimp. 4 new panes of glass later, and my babes insisted on hanging the pendant herself.
I can't play,
I think
like,
she nailed it. And now
just
let's
when
talk
they're
about
streaming,
those
I can't
painted
play, like,
trees.
copyrighted
As you may have
music or
guessed, it's
anything,
not
or
traditional
things
paint,
like
but lime wash,
tunes.
and no, I'm not
don't
some
know
unhinged lunatic. Lime wash trees are
Or watch
common in the
TV.
shrimp's native Turkey and many other countries around the world. The lime wash protects the trees from sunburn, disease, and many asshole
What?
insects. Besides the benefits, it just looks good, so why not? As a final touch, I painted and reinstalled the house lantern. What do you
Pour it
think?
into a
Shall we
tall.
keep it or
Make it
upgrade to
a-
something more modern? Now let's look at a before
Pour it
and
into a
after of
bigger
this
glass,
epic
it'll be
and
fine.
almost finished transformation.
No,
we
I
based a
got
lot
you.
of our design choices on Turkish seaside style,
But just,
and my babes is hoping
yeah,
the
just pour it into a
bougainvillea we
bigger
planted will
glass.
someday look like this one. Follow us as we transform our Emerald Coast home into a tropical retreat with each brush of lime wash and shovel of dirt.
Hypothetically, for educational purposes only, all right? If you live in a state where they just passed one of these bathroom bills and you run a criminal enterprise, right? And you got criminal things you're trying to do, hypothetically, and you don't want the cops to be there, maybe just go on Google Maps, find an area where there are corporate restaurants and eateries, typically located on the edge of town,
Like, bro, you're gonna give
because
yourself a
that
fucking
way
hernia
it
or
isn't
a
in any place fucking
heart attack
walkable,
or something.
and then you
You're
call
turning
the
yourself
local
red.
police department and say, hey, I'm a lady in the bathroom, allegedly, and there's a trans in here and I don't feel comfortable, and the cops are gonna have to go running. They're going to have to enforce these laws, because if the cops don't enforce these laws,
But that's
then a
become his
lot of
thing,
ladies
so I
who
feel
don't
like
know
now
shit
he
about
feels
shit are
like
going to
he
be
has to
arguing in
do
the
it.
comments on the police officers'
I think he feels
Facebook
like he's
pages.
stuck.
Because all those local
He doesn't
PDs,
always
all those
scream.
local police stations,
But
they all
he
got
just
Facebook
projects.
fan pages, and they like to keep their comments
Yeah,
good.
yeah, yeah.
So they're going
Usually,
to have
but
to
not
go
always.
run. Allegedly, hypothetically, for educational purposes only, they're gonna have to go to maybe, I don't know, an example, TGI Fridays or a Chili's. And they're gonna have to stand there and talk to every single woman being like, are you a trans? Are you a trans? Somebody called and said there was a trans, right? And meanwhile, allegedly, hypothetically, for educational purposes only, your criminal ass has now gone and done what you needed to do in that criminal time frame. Because you've taken at least 2 to 3 cops off the beat, so they can't be out there doing actual cop stuff. And now they're all tied up over there because they're too busy talking to a bunch of people at a Chili's about whether or not those people are trans. And now those people are getting upset. And now the cops don't want to even be there anymore. And eventually it's going to get so bad that the cops will quit their jobs because they're like, why am I a fucking bathroom monitor? I thought I was going to be able to beat up poor people. And now instead I got to be here at a TGI Fridays every Thursday. Not even a Friday. Every Thursday I got to be here because somebody keeps calling and saying that there's trans in the bathroom, but there's never trans in the bathroom. And then eventually there will be a trans in the bathroom, and the cops won't show up because they're getting so many calls that there's trans in the bathroom that now finally a trans person can take a shit in peace because no one's gonna fucking show up to bother them because nobody's gonna believe the call that there's a trans in the bathroom. Because every time somebody calls that there's a trans in the bathroom, somebody moves meth across state lines or robs a church.
He sounds so out of breath.
Allegedly. This is all educational purposes.
You had a cigarette today, didn't you, Perlman?
For thousands of years, beaches and shorelines have been recognized as a public trust, or something that can be benefited by the public only in that location. So there is either public ownership of that location or private ownership with an intrinsic right to access for the public. But in the United States, we have a lot of laws that range in accessibility from state to state. So I wanted to go over the accessibility laws for each state because it's really fucking complicated. In the state of Maine, property owners can own land all the way down to the mean low water mark because of an old colonial law, but the public can use the intertidal zone between the mean high tide line and the mean low tide line for fishing, fouling, and navigation. You can do that for commercial purposes and recreational purposes, but you cannot walk there recreationally, you cannot sunbathe there recreationally, you can harvest worms, but you can't take shells, and bird watching is not included in fouling. In the state of New Hampshire, the public has access to the beach below the mean high water line, and also some prescriptive easements have been preserved by law, which are private property that have been used by the public for many years and are preserved under the law. Massachusetts is regulated by a similar law to that of Maine, where homeowners can own all the way up to the low water mark, but the public does have access rights for fishing, fouling, and navigation in the intertidal zone. Rhode Island, public has access to the mean high water line and below, but a bill just passed the Senate that would allow 10 feet beyond that into the dry sandy beach. That law has not taken effect yet. In Connecticut, the public may use below the mean high water line or the wet beach for recreation purposes, but there is no access to the beach requirement. In New York State, private property owners adjacent to the beach do not need to provide access to a beach, although the public may use the beach for recreational purposes below the mean high water line. In New Jersey, the public is allowed to use a reasonable portion of the dry sandy beach on all beaches, and there are some beach access laws that depend by location. Delaware's regulations vary from parcel to parcel, with the low tide line being the marker or the high tide line depending on which one you're talking about. In the state of Maryland, the public is usually able to use private property below the mean high water line, but the state of Maryland is gradually purchasing large portions of privately owned coastline in order to build a network of publicly accessible coastline. In the state of Virginia, although there is 10,000